You have likely encountered this kind of person. A man enters a room. He is not flashy, not loud, yet everyone turns. He feels no need to prove anything. People simply sense something about him. He looks around calm and composed, as if the atmosphere itself adjusts to make space for him. On paper, he could be a nobody, but in that moment, you would not know it. His presence declares otherwise. You sit and watch, wondering, how does he do that? Why do people treat him as if he's important even before he's done a thing? Here is the uncomfortable reality. He is not necessarily superior to you. He may not be smarter, more skilled, or more deserving. But he does one thing you do not. He acts as if no one is better than him. And the world believes it. You were taught to wait your turn, to be humble, to let your work speak for itself. But in truth, the world does not wait to hear your story. It reads your posture. It listens to your tone. It watches how you walk, how you speak, how you sit, how you meet someone's gaze or avoid it. Your presence speaks before your voice does. And if your presence says, I am unsure, then people will treat you as if you do not belong, no matter the brilliance you hold inside. That is why the idea to act as if you are the best is not mere motivational fluff. It is a strategy for survival. You do not become powerful and then start acting as if you deserve respect. You act as if you already deserve it, and that is what opens the doors. This may sound like theater, and in a sense it is. But theater is not deception. Theater is performance with intent. When an actor steps on stage, he is not lying. He is showing up fully, taking the role seriously and inviting others into belief. That is what you must do. Because in the theater of life, those who hesitate to perform a given background roles, no matter their brilliance behind the scenes. You might think the world rewards skill. It does not. It rewards certainty. The man who walks with conviction is listened to, even when he is wrong. The man who hesitates, even when he is right, is often ignored. People follow energy. They follow clarity. They follow the one who seems to know. Confidence is not a prize you earn after you have won. It is the armor you wear before the fight begins. It is not the result of success. It is the condition for it. Consider the opportunities you let pass because you did not feel ready. Recall the conversations where you wanted to speak but doubted your right to say anything. Remember the times you worked harder than anyone, yet were passed over because someone else claimed the position with confidence while you waited for permission. This world does not hand out permission slips. It hands out rewards to those who act as if they already belong at the table. That is why some of the most successful people are not the most talented. They are the most convincing. They walk as if the ground owes them something. They speak as if their words are law. They move as if the crown is already on their head, even when it is invisible. And eventually, the world starts to see the crown too. It is not magic. It is repetition. It is the discipline of showing up every day as the man you wish to become, until you have repeated the image so many times that people stop questioning it. They simply believe it. You might say, but I am not that confident yet. That is acceptable. You do not need to be. You only need to act as if you are. Not to deceive others, but to retrain yourself. You are not pretending. You are becoming. You are shaping your presence as a sculptor shapes stone. You carve, you polish, you adjust, and slowly the image becomes real. Every movement matters. How you enter a room, how you shake hands, how you listen, how you speak, it is all part of the signal you send. And that signal is not passive, it is active. It either pulls people in or pushes them away. It either says, I am someone, or you can ignore me. People do not dig deep. They respond to what is on the surface. Not because they are cruel, but because that is how we are wired. We do not have time to evaluate every soul. So we go off cues: body language, voice, eye contact, pace, posture, confidence. This is not about arrogance. It is about assumption. If you assume you are powerful, you will begin to walk like it, speak like it, look like it. And the world will slowly reflect that back to you. If you assume you are invisible, that you need to prove yourself first, that others are better than you, then you will move accordingly. You will shrink. You will wait. You will apologize for taking up space. And again the world will reflect that back. You are not just living in the world. You are projecting into it. And the world responds to what you project. Not to your potential, not to your truth, but to your signal. So act as if you are the best. Not to put others down, but to show the world that you finally understand what no one ever taught you: power is not granted. It is assumed. And the one who dares to assume it wins. Have you ever wondered why some people, even when they have nothing truly remarkable to offer, still command all the attention? They walk into a meeting, offer a few vague ideas, and yet everyone nods, listens, agrees. Meanwhile, someone else, perhaps you, has spent hours thinking through the problem, refining solutions, preparing carefully, and still your words land softly and die in the air. It is not your intelligence that is lacking. It is not your preparation. It is the signal you send the moment you open your mouth or even before. The world does not follow competence, it follows certainty. People crave something firm to believe in, and when you walk and speak as if you are absolutely sure of yourself, you become that anchor others are seeking, even if your ideas are not perfect. Confidence, then, is not a reward. It is a requirement. If you want to lead, you cannot wait until you feel completely ready. You will never feel completely ready. No one does. That is the secret. The difference is, those who rise choose to act as if they are ready, even when they are terrified inside. That is the lie that becomes the truth. Because every time you carry yourself as if you are in control, people begin to believe it. They adjust themselves to your rhythm. They respond to the image you project, not the facts you carry. This is why you have seen average men lead exceptional teams. Why loud, overconfident voices take up all the space while the quiet genius remains a footnote. Because the world reflects what you broadcast, not what you contain. You can be brilliant, insightful, and strong. But if your behavior whispers hesitation, people will not dig deeper to find out what you are really made of. They will take the hint and move on. That is why you must own the room before the room offers you permission. Walk in as if you belong. Speak as if you have already earned your place. Carry yourself as if you have nothing to prove, because the moment you try to prove something, you signal that you might not be as powerful as you claim. Even hesitation becomes a message. A delay in response, a nervous laugh, a hunched posture. These are tiny leaks of energy that signal to the room, I am not sure of myself. And people feel that instantly. And because people are deeply wired to follow strength, or what looks like strength, they begin to reposition you. They put you one rank lower. They take your suggestions with a grain of salt. They test your boundaries more freely. They question your opinions more often. Not because they want to hurt you, but because that is how the human brain operates. We trust what we can feel. We follow what we can sense. And confidence, true or performed, is one of the most powerful emotional signals in existence. It creates gravity. It draws people in. This is why you should never wait to be celebrated before you carry yourself like a winner. Never wait to be validated before you stand tall. Never wait for your turn to speak up. Take it. Every hesitation is an invitation for someone else to steal your moment. This is not about being loud. It is about being sure. Even your silence can command power if you choose it deliberately. When you sit in a room and say little, but hold eye contact, sit upright, and exude certainty, people begin to wonder what you are thinking. They lean in. They pay attention because silence, when paired with confidence, becomes mystery. And mystery is magnetic. But silence without presence, that is just invisibility. You must learn the difference. When you walk into a space, your first task is not to explain yourself. It is to occupy it fully, with your spine, your steps, your breath, your gaze, with your energy. Before you say a word, your presence has already started the conversation. And when you finally speak, let your voice carry the weight of your belief. Not just belief in your idea, but belief in yourself. Speak as if your words matter, as if they carry consequences, as if people would be foolish not to listen. Because the truth is, if you speak without belief, your audience will not believe either. And if you do not look convinced of your own power, no one else will be. People want to follow someone who seems to know where they are going. They want to stand behind someone who already seems chosen. They want to hand the crown to someone who already acts as if they are wearing it. So act. Not because you are arrogant, not because you are faking anything, but because you understand this game and you are done sitting on the sidelines. You do not owe the world your humility. You owe it your presence. And if you do not claim your space, someone else will. And chances are they will be far less deserving than you. You might still wonder, what if I am just pretending? What if I act confident and someone sees through me? But here is the real twist. Everyone is pretending. Even the most powerful people you admire, at some point they were just like you. Unsure, nervous, making it up as they went. The difference is, they did not let that uncertainty show. They acted with conviction before they ever had proof. They understood something most people never do. Your belief shapes reality, not the other way around. Think of confidence as a kind of self-hypnosis. At first it feels awkward. You stand taller even though your legs feel shaky. You speak up even though your voice wants to tremble. You look someone in the eye even though your instinct is to look away. But the more you repeat it, the more your body learns, the more your voice adapts, the more your energy catches up with your act. That is not deception. That is transformation. You are not lying to the world. You are teaching it how to treat you. And you are teaching yourself who you are becoming. Because every time you carry yourself like a man of value, you start to believe it. And once you believe it, others follow. This is how reputations are built, not on truth, but on consistency. The world does not reward the most talented. It rewards the most consistent signal. If you project the same image day after day, people eventually accept it. They stop questioning. They repeat it. And soon your myth becomes your identity. You have seen this in action. Machiavelli walks into a room with quiet certainty. He does not need to brag. He does not even need to talk much. But people make way for him. They defer to him. Why? Because he assumes power. An assumption is contagious. It spreads like scent. People feel it before they understand it. On the other hand, consider the man who walks in unsure of his place. He smiles too often. His body shrinks into itself. He tries to be agreeable, to cause no discomfort, to take up as little space as possible. And what does the room do in response? It forgets him. It overlooks him. Not because he is not worthy, but because he told the room without saying a word. You do not have to respect me. This is the quiet disease of self-erasure, and it is a choice. You can choose to shrink, to defer, to wait until someone tells you you are enough. Or you can choose to stand as if you already are. You do not need permission to start acting powerful. You act powerful, and the permission follows. The world will treat you exactly the way you treat yourself. So when you walk into a room, stop playing small. Do not look around waiting for someone to recognize your greatness. Walk as if it is already understood. Speak as if your words matter. Move as if the room belongs to you, not because you want to dominate others, but because you finally refuse to disappear. People respect certainty, not perfection, not humility, not even skill. Certainty. You can be wrong and still lead. You can lack experience and still be trusted. As long as you carry yourself like someone who believes fully in who they are becoming. That is why confidence is not volume. It is not shouting or taking up space aggressively. It is presence. It is the quiet strength in your posture, the calm in your voice, the stillness in your eyes. It is moving slowly, deliberately, because you do not need to rush for approval. It is holding silence like a weapon. It is not needing to convince because you have already decided who you are. Others catch on fast. People want someone to follow, someone to trust, someone who carries belief like a flame and lights the way for others. And when they sense that energy in you, they start to organize around it. Not because you forced them to, but because they were waiting for someone like you to appear. So do not wait. Do not keep asking yourself if you are ready. Readiness is a myth. No one feels ready. The strongest people you know were just bold enough to act before they were certain. They jumped and learned to land on the way down. That is your job now. Not to perfect your image, but to choose it. Not to wait for proof, but to assume your role. Not to apologize for who you are, but to broadcast it with quiet force. Because if you do not, someone else will define you for you. And they will write a version of your story that fits their narrative, not yours. That is the risk of silence. That is the cost of hesitation. You can either teach the world who you are, or you can let it label you based on how uncertain you seem. You have probably heard the saying, fake it till you make it. But that is not quite right. You are not faking anything. You are becoming. You are practicing power the way a musician practices their instrument. Not pretending to know, but committing to learn by doing, over and over again, until the movements, the voice, the posture, the energy, they are not an act anymore. They are you. And when you get to that point, when you have worn the crown so long it no longer feels heavy, people stop questioning. They stop testing. They start assuming what you assumed long ago. You are the one who leads, the one who matters, the one who belongs at the top. The irony is cruel, but true power does not go to the best. It goes to the one who believes he is, the one who acts like the best, the one who radiates without apology that no one is better than him. Not because he hates others, but because he finally stopped doubting himself. You are not in a contest for who is nicest or smartest or most hardworking. You are in a game of perception, and perception bends reality. If you carry yourself as invisible, you will be. If you speak like you are unsure, you will be challenged and ignored. But if you speak with calm conviction, move like your steps have purpose, and stare into the world like nothing can shake you, people will feel it, and they will respond. You do not need to scream to be powerful. You do not need to dominate to lead. You do not even need to have it all figured out. What you do need is to drop the habit of asking permission to exist. Stop waiting for someone to recognize your potential. Stop hoping someone will call on you. Stop shrinking your presence to fit someone else's comfort. If they are uncomfortable with your greatness, let them squirm. That is not your problem anymore. Power is not a reward handed out by fair judges. It is a mirror. It reflects whatever you send it. If you send fear, it gives you rejection. If you send confidence, it offers opportunity. You are not just walking through life. You are declaring yourself with every step. And every time you walk into a room, every time you speak, every time you choose to be silent or to act, you are sending a message: this is who I am. This is how I expect to be treated. So let me ask you, what have you been broadcasting? Have you been acting like a man who is still waiting to become good enough, or a man who already knows he is? Have you been walking like someone unsure of his worth, or someone who carries himself like the world owes him attention? Because that answer, more than your talent, your resume, or your intentions, is what determines how the world will treat you. If you assume you are a background character, the world will never cast you as the lead. If you act like your voice does not matter, people will stop listening. But if you assume you are necessary, if you move like you are valuable, then others will adapt to that energy. They will believe what you believe. Because confidence, when repeated with discipline, becomes truth. You may not control every situation. You may not always get the outcome you want, but you do control how you show up. And when you show up with certainty, people feel it. When you walk into a room and your presence speaks before you do, something shifts. That shift is what separates the forgotten from the unforgettable, the sheep from the wolf, the one who waits from the one who decides. So here is the truth that ends all debate: you do not become powerful by accident. You become powerful by assuming power, again and again and again, until it becomes impossible to see you as anything else. The man who walks with the belief that he is the best is not waiting for permission. He is not waiting for validation. He is not waiting for the right time. He moves as if the game is already his, and the world kneels not because he asked it to, but because he taught it to. So now it is your turn. No more shrinking. No more explaining. No more hoping. From this moment forward, walk as if no one is better than you. Not because you have something to prove, but because no one will believe it until you do. Power is not granted, it is assumed, and the one who dares to assume it first rules. Now tell me, who are you going to be the moment this ends? The man who waits, hesitates, apologizes,